Kagome couldn't remember the last time she had had so much fun. Asagi, Mugi, Shion, Roku, Dai, and I were such kind children. Playful ones, too. The so-called garden the 6 half-demon children had taken her to consisted of large quartz crystals growing from the cave chamber's walls, and the fire-lit torches made the rainbow colors dance on the regular gray stone. It took Kagome's breath away. "I'm gonna get you, Kagome teased as she chased after the little half-fish girl demon, who was laughing as she playfully ran away from the young Miko. "I've got you!" Asagi shouted triumphantly as she caught Ai in her arms by rushing ahead of her. "No fair! You're faster than me!" Ai pouted as in the older girl's arms while she crossed her own. "You're just upset 'cause we won," Dai stated with a playful smile. "Yeah, no matter what, you'll always be the youngest one among us," Roku added. Kagome frowned. "Okay, that's enough, all of you. Ai deserves more respect than that. She may be little, but she's just as strong as the rest of you." I smiled sadly at the Miko's remark. "No, they're right. I'll always be the youngest, and I'm always the one Big Brother INUYASHA worries about the most." Dai and Roku's smiles vanished, replaced with apologetic looks. "Sorry, Ai," they said at the same time. Kagome smiled at the twins and then approached Asagi and took Ai into her arms. "Well, I used to be as small as you, and people worried about me just like INUYASHA worries about you." I perked up at her words. "Really?" she asked. "Yes, I felt the same way you did. I thought I would always be little and that I would always have to be protected. But no, eventually I learned no one stays little or the same forever. We are always learning and changing. No child is small forever, so neither will you be," Kagome said wisely. I smiled and hugged Kagome as tightly as she could. "Thanks, big sister. I'm glad you're here. Will you stay forever?" the little girl asked cutely. Kagome's face fell. "I can't tell them I'm planning on escaping this awful place. Then again, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. And neither is INUYASHA. I mean, he's so kind to these little children. He may have kidnapped me, but maybe—" Kagome's thoughts were interrupted when the Shion pulled on her sleeve. "Kagome, are you all right?" he questioned. "Oh yes, just lost in thought, I guess." "So will you stay forever?" I asked again with an innocent smile. I'll be talking to INUYASHA about that," the Miko said before she could stop herself. "Great, 'cause we're really glad you're here," Mogi said. "Yeah, Big Brother INUYASHA used to play with us most of the time, along with Bunza. But nowadays, he's really busy. All of them are. Since time he's played with us, it's been 4 days at the most. But nowadays, especially INUYASHA, seem to be really busy to the point where he can only play with us once a day. Once every 4 days," Dai started with a sigh. "Busy with what?" Kagome wondered out loud. "Well, the wolf demon tribe wants our land," and Roku started, but Asagi cut him off. "It doesn't matter, Kagome. The point is, they're very busy, and INUYASHA is like a big brother to us. He took us in when we were orphans, fed and kept a roof over us, cares for us even if we aren't actually blood related, even though he is really a big brother in our hearts," the oldest child stuttered, and then sighed unhappily. Kagome felt herself hugging Ai closer, to which she hugged back. "I'm sorry," was all she could say. All 6 children then looked at her with confused expressions. "What do you mean, sister?" asked Ai. "Well, as a Miko, I was taught to believe that all those with demon blood were bad, half or whole-blooded demons. It didn't matter. My guardian told me they were all terrible. Now, after everything that's happened in the past few days, I feel like I was told to believe and believed the wrong things. I mean, if it was all true, you would hate me and think me weak for being full human. And being a Miko." Kagome trailed off, embracing herself for frowny faces and outraged comments. But when she looked up, she only saw all of the half-demon children looking at her with understanding expressions. "We know you're a Miko, but you're not cruel to us, or like other humans were, before we came into INUYASHA's care," Mugi said softly. "Yeah, you're really kind and gentle," Roku said. "And you don't try to hurt us," Dai exclaimed. "You don't give us mean looks," I added. And we know you're a good person to everyone you come across, big sister, Shion stated. How? How do you know that? Kagome asked louder than she had meant to sound, but none of the children even flinched. Asagi stepped forward. Because you treat us half-demons like you would if we were normal human children. That's how we know. And if you're good with children who are different from you, then I'd say that makes you a good person. Not only that, but a great person. Kagome was stunned. These children were wise beyond their years, and they seemed to be even wiser than her, though she was older. I don't know what to say. The Miko trailed off. The 6 children smiled and gathered around her and hugged her close. You don't need to say anything, just keep being you, Dai stated in the hug. Kagome suddenly felt her eyes water with tears. Never before had someone told her to just be herself. Kaede had always told her to keep a serious mind at all times, whether it was for being a Miko or even in general. To always be on her guard, so as to never be weak. Now it was as if a great weight was lifted from her shoulders, and she couldn't stop the tears falling from her eyes. Big sister? I asked in concern when she felt drops of water falling under her head and looked up to see the Miko was crying. I'm fine. I'm just happy. She smiled as she sadly rubbed away the tears on her cheek. Wait here, I'll go get Big Brother, Shion stated as he noticed Kagome's tears and ran out of the room before the Miko could stop him as the other 5 children hugged her tighter. Totosai, I don't understand, Inuyasha said as he sat across from the demon swordsmith in a green and black striped toga. Well, my lord, I'm afraid that your full demon is getting stronger and more confident now that it has a mate. And judging from what you have told me and what Bunza has told me, if you don't do something about that to tame your inner beast, it will break loose, Totosai said seriously as he petted his 3-eyed bull that was beside him. Inuyasha was silent. He knew if his full demon emerged again, it would only make Kagome fear him more. So what do you suggest? The dog god questioned quietly. Totosai scratched the back of his head and then responded. Well, if I were you, I'd talk to Lady Kagome and discuss this matter with her. The swordsmith started, but Inuyasha cut him off. There's no way I'm telling Kagome about this. She's already seen my full demon, and she was afraid of it, and I don't know what to do. She ran out of the room when she saw my full demon, and I haven't seen her since. Ow! Inuyasha cried out as Totosai whacked him on the head with his hammer. I know what happened, you whippersnapper. The fact that you haven't made things right, like you should have already done, is what upsets me. Not to mention Sango, Kilala, and everyone else in this estate are so upset with you for your lack of maturity, the swordsmith stated seriously. Inuyasha freezed. What do you mean by everyone knows what happened between me and Kagome and my demon? He asked in a small voice, fearing he already knew the answer. Yes, they've known since about an hour ago. Word travels fast between one underground cave estate, Totosai replied simply. That's when the sliding door opened to reveal an angry Sango, Kilala, Moroku, and Miyoga. Lord Inuyasha, is it true that about what happened between you and your full demon and Lady Kagome? Moroku asked, outraged. I swear I didn't mean to, the dog god started, but was cut off by Sango. I cannot believe you, my lord. We may be your servants, but treating a woman like that crosses a line, she shouted as Kilala meowed angrily in agreement. Sango is right. I mean, it was already unfair that you forced the young lady to become your wife and mate and mark her without her consent. I'm sorry, but I never approved of your actions from the beginning, Miyoga shouted from Moroku's shoulder. Inuyasha looked down, ashamed of himself. I know, but listen, he started, but only to stop talking when Shion entered the room. Hi, big brother. Sorry to interrupt, but Sister Kagome is with me and the others and is crying. I think it's best if you go see her, the lavender-haired boy said. Inuyasha stood up at his words. You met Kagome? He asked, trying to ignore the death glares he was getting from everyone else in the room. Yeah, she played with us in our garden while you were busy with Master Totosai. We all really like her, and you were right. She really is beautiful, Shion replied with a smile. Inuyasha said nothing as he picked up Shion and put him on his shoulders. I'll go see her, let's go, the dog god said as he and Shion left the room, closing the sliding door in their wake. Oh, if that dog thinks I'm done with him, he's got another thing coming, Sango exclaimed as she and Kilala tried to follow the half-demons, but Moroku grabbed Sango's shoulder and picked Kilala up to stop them. Let's let our master deal with this on his own. the monk said. Why, so he can scare Kagome again? Sango asked harshly. Not at all. I think it'd be wise to let him try and fix his mistake before we give him an earful again. Wouldn't you agree? Moroku asked, leaving Sango speechless. I guess you're right, she sighed. That when she suddenly felt a hand on her bottom. Watcher! She yelped as she slapped the guilty monk, who was smiling nervously as he rubbed his sore cheek. Youth these days, Myoga said, shaking his head as he sat on Tojoshai's shoulder, who nodded in agreement. You said it.